Good evening and welcome. I call the meeting of the Henderson City Council to order at 6 p.m. on this 20th day of May 2025. I declare a quorum is present and declare that the notices have been legally posted pursuant to the Open Meetings Act. At this time, would you please stand for our invocation, which will be led by Chaplain Stacy Horn of the Police Department, and then if you will remain standing, we'll be led by our pledge by Councilman Strong with the pledges. Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Thanks for the invocation and the pledges. Now we'll go into our citizens' comment. I have one that signed up for that, and that is Mr. Weatherton. He's from District 2. So if you would, Mr. Weatherton, if you step up to the podium and address us. Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, thank you. All right. Do we have any presentations? Okay. And announcements. Okay. None of those, so we'll go on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda contains routine and non-controversial issues. Are there any items the council would like to move into regular session? If not, could I get a motion upon the consent agenda?
I'll move for approval as presented.
Second.
We have a motion by Mr. Searcy and second by Mr. Strong. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right, consent agenda is passed. Now we'll move on to our regular business. Item number 4, consideration and possible action upon resolution 2020 25-05-01 for the Police Department grant. Chief?
Chief, I know we talked about this earlier, just the two of us, but I laid out some concerns about data privacy and how that would be addressed, and just wanted you to repeat that to the rest of the council like we discussed. On web servers.
So Chief Taylor, this camera system that we have, can you walk me through, say a bad guy comes to Henderson? I mean, what happens?
And it's done in real time. It's not some substantial delay.
Right.
They can act on it immediately.
And as a follow-up question, will our officers be able to access this like real time?
Yes, sir. The patrol officers that'll be in the patrol units, this will pop up on their computer, anything on the hot list. And it doesn't just have to be our hot list either. I mean, so if, say, Houston or Nacogdoches or other agencies have something on their hot list, if it picks it up, it'll immediately let us know too. So they might have a homicide suspect or something like that that's coming through our area. It'll give our officers the opportunity to apprehend that subject.
This system costs us how much?
We're asking for 6 cameras. That's going to be about $25,000. Our match would be I think it's $25,500. Our match would be $5,100, I believe. And this is an annual grant, so we could apply for more. If we get the results that we want out of it, we'd be able to have the opportunity to apply again for this grant. This grant also covers subscription cost. So that $5,100 would be it for this year. And if we decide to expand further, then we can do that later. Rusk County already has some that are either in place or fixing to be in place. They're catching all outbound traffic, so all our cameras would catch all inbound traffic into the city. We'd have a work agreement, so we'd work within the whole system throughout the region.
So this system hooks up to theirs and other cities and towns and
Yes,
all?
they have control over their information, their hot list, as will we, but we'll open that up to them just like they'll open it up to us. So,
There's local, state, and federal hot list.
yes.
Is FLOC an acronym?
No, sir, it's just the company, or if it is an acronym, I don't know, but it's, the company's been around for several years, and they've become probably one of the top companies for roadside cameras.
It's a roadside camera.
Yes, sir. No, it's an LPR camera, but their cameras do more than just license plate reading.
I thought it was gonna be going on cruisers.
No, so we actually do have those already in several of our cruisers on the cameras that we already get through Motorola, but it's a different system, and those are actually mobile, so those are inside the units on the cameras.
If you get on I-20 going from Shreveport to Dallas, you pass about 10 of them.
Well, and I'm glad you said that. There's a lot of the local businesses have the opportunity to purchase those as well. Lowe's has one already in their parking lot. When you pull in, you'll see a camera there. That's a FLOC camera. And they can open up access for us to use that once we become customers of theirs as well.
Any other questions from the council? Could I get a motion on item number 4?
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion that we approve agenda item number 4.
I'll second that.
Motion was made by Mr. Strong, second by Mr. Searcy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign.
Thank you very much.
Carries. All right, thank you. All right, moving on to item number 5. Consideration and possible actions upon the recommendation of the Planning and Zoning Commission to rezone the property located at 900 East Main Street from an R1 zone to a DP zone. Mr. Brightwell.
Yes.
Breitenberg.
Thank you. Yeah, obviously, my last name is Breitenberg. It says Jimerson all over this agenda, but she couldn't be here tonight, so you got me. So, yeah, so thank y'all for considering this. Item number 5, this is, like I said, consideration and possible action on this recommendation from the P&Z Commission to rezone the property located at 900 East Main Street. 900 East Main Street is in District 2. Down, y'all are familiar with Chicken Express. You go down the hill where Will Lake is back on the left. It's directly across from that where you see a sign on there that says Will Lake Farm. And it's a lot of land back there. And Jessica and Matthew Jindimi are here tonight. They approached us that's the owners. They purchased this property. And they came to us several months ago, trying to fulfill a vision they have for this property. And they were very prepared. They came up here with had done a lot of research already on our existing ordinances. And we looked at the fact that it was currently zoned R1, and what they have, the vision for this property doesn't really fit the R1 zone, and it doesn't. And we looked at all the other zoning options, and we just came up with the idea of a plan development would probably be the best fit, the way to present this. And so we had meetings with them. We've had several workshops, several discussions. I know the mayor's sat in on some of those. And, of course, put this together, sent out 200-foot letters, and talked to the adjacent property owners at those meetings. They pretty much had an opportunity to express all their concerns about this plan development that they may have, and a lot of it centered around just the use of it and what that would look like. And so, as you'll see in item number 6, which is the first reading on the actual ordinance, but we came up with, through these several meeting processes and the Hamilton group who they're working with here, I think we pretty much satisfied all the outstanding issues and concerns about the types of livestock and the things that they want to do. So if you look at your plan, just as an overview, what they want to do is in that front piece of there up front where the green is on that by the road, they want to have basically a pick your own kind of orchard. They want to grow an orchard right there in the front part where people can drive up and pick your own produce. And back there in the more orange section, as you see in the rear bottom right, that's where they're going to build a house. And in the back rear portion of that, and then there'll be, I believe, an accessory structure. How many accessory structures over there in the back rear? Mm-hmm. Potentially greenhouses in that area back there. And then on the far left, on the purple there, which is all back there, you're going to have an apiary in the far back for the bees, right? And then some cattle and things over there. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Over there on the west side, and there's a creek that creek runs back down through there on the back side, and some of that's in the floodplain on the left, and we've explored everything, that has to do with that. They do want to drill a well just for irrigation purposes only, and we talked about that and said that would work out because the main structure is going to be on city water and sewer, and the stuff up front too also, right, all be on city water and sewer. So really just in that back part on the left would be irrigated by a well. And again, It sounds like we couldn't, once we got through the ordinance, which y'all can read through, be a first reading, be the next item. It was just to talk about what kind of animals, the neighbors were comfortable with, and, how many in quantity and things like that they felt was, best use here. And so there's a maximum on those things, and you can read through those on the ordinance, in the next reading. And then, of course, you have to come back for a second reading on that anyway. So this is just the P and Z Commission has recommended that, to go ahead and proceed with this. And so you're just making a decision on to approve the recommendation at this time, so.
Questions?
So I got a phone call last week from a concerned citizen
Okay.
about this project. And they told me they were very complimentary of all the parties involved trying to reach an amicable solution. And they felt pretty satisfied with that. But they still had some more questions. So I was expecting to hear from the city on this, and I have not. So I don't necessarily have all the information I can to make a decision on this tonight. And with that, I'm gonna ask that we move to table this until I talk to our staff in a little more detail about it.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
we can continue with the reading of the ordinance, and we can take all this up next month if,
Oh, yes,
That's
sir.
good with
Yeah,
everybody.
I didn't realize that.
because I
not
wasn't
either
informed
Cheryl or
about
I-
this until I got concerns from the neighbors.
Okay, that's understandable. I wasn't aware that you hadn't been contacted, so.
They were very gracious. They filled me in on a lot, and I read as much as I could on this, but I'm not comfortable making that decision when they still feel like there's some outstanding concerns.
Okay. Yeah,
With that said, I will make a motion to table.
Have a motion. Could I get a second on tabling item number 5? Motion's been made by Mr. Searcy, second by Ms. Martin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Carries. We'll do is move on to item 6, I guess, for our first reading of that ordinance at this time.
Mr. Brown, you want to ask? With the tabling of that,
On to 6.
so we ultimately probably need to table 6 as well, you think? Okay.
With that said, I'll also move to table item 6.
Been made. Made by, okay. Mr. Searcy, second by Ms. Martin. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right. Item number 7, consideration and possible action upon the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission changing the zoning from an M2 medium-density multifamily residential zone to an R1 low-density single-family zone on the 2 parcels known as the BIH subdivision owned by HEDCO.
Yes, council, this is, I believe, you've already approved this, or you were aware that Hedco purchased these properties, before over here on, off North Even side. And these 2, lots that were formerly known as the BIH addition, I think they're there on the map. And basically there was a recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission on this item to rezone those from, I believe, M2 was what they were zoned previously, and we're going to an R1 zone, so the HEDCO is going to look at building a couple of houses and see how they do. So that's the plan.
Have any questions about
Council, y'all do understand where the location is here? Okay. And I believe this was changed, the zoning was changed to this not too terribly long ago.
by Mr. Bain for BIH, and now that it's sold, EDC owns it. They're wanting to jumpstart some residential and make it single family back and go in that direction, so.
Get a motion on item number 7.
So I believe it,
No, it'd be
I
3.
believe it's, Mr. Jackson's in 3.
I make a motion that we do this.
Second.
Motion's been made by Mr. Jackins, second by Mr. Searcy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Okay, motion 7 carries. Motion 8, consideration upon the first reading of ordinance 2025-05-2, changing the zoning from an M2 medium-density multifamily residential zone to an R1 low-density single-family zone on the 2 parcels known as the BIH subdivision owned by HIDCO. That is just the first reading for that on item 8.
The language of that ordinance was approved and looked at by Mr. Brown as well, just the same language as the item says, just moving the zoning, typical zoning language.
Vote for that one. That's the first reading. So we'll move on to item 9. Consideration and possible action upon the recommendation from the Planning and Zoning Commission changing the zoning from low intensity industrial to industrial for an application submitted by the City of Henderson to amend the zoning map on property owned by the Henderson Soccer Association located on FM 782.
Yes, Council, this will be in Mr. Strong's district. This is 2 pieces of land there you can see off of FM 782 that the Henderson Soccer Association owns. And as you can see, it was just brought in whenever during the annexation. When HEDCO got involved with annexing Taylor Drive, it was just brought in as Industrial 1. And so all we're doing or asking is Planning and Zoning recommends to change that zone on those 2 parcels to institutional, which is appropriate, because it's a nonprofit soccer association that owns those pieces of land. So just making a correction.
Mayor, I make a motion we approve agenda item number 9.
I will second that.
That was a motion by Mr. Strong, second by Mr. Searcy. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. All right. Item number 9 passes. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you. That's our. That concludes our regular business. We're moving on now to our departmental reports. Those were listed in your packets. You've gone over those. Does anyone have any questions? All right. So, boards and commissions, are there any questions or concerns upon any of the board minutes submitted? If not, we'll move on. We'll go on to our oral presentation. Mr. Kimbrell, if you'll step up.
Good evening, Mayor and Council.
Just 1 second. There's one thing I was meant to ask for the city manager to do before you started your presentation.
Okay, hold on just a second.
Not steal your thunder here or anything.
Y'all good?
While he's working on that, you there?
You're welcome.
Well, that's out music or any Three Stooges, so you have my back, so appreciate that.
Cliff has set a high bar for us, so, you know,
A little late, little.
All right, all right,
Carry on, sir.
all right. Well, thank you all for your time and interest in what we do. Our Public Service and Parks and Recreation Department's got a great staff. They take real pride in what they do. They work hard, and I'm proud to lead such a dynamic department, and I'm proud to share some of what they do with you tonight. So what I'm gonna do is go through, I'll be covering 6 crews tonight. I'll kind of go through and give you like a 30,000-foot overview of the main duties we do, each crew does. And then I'll follow that up with some pictures of some recent jobs we've done. And then I got a little bonus for y'all at the end. So we'll start with our Buildings and Grounds Maintenance crew. Ensure safe and functional city facilities. These guys do general maintenance on all our city buildings. This is things like AC repairs, plumbing repairs, electrical repairs, light bulbs, leaky toilets, you name it, we fix it. They also do a lot of preventive maintenance. These are things like air conditioner filters, condenser coil cleaning, routine checks on lights downtown and in our parks. They also make sure our school zone lights around town are flashing when they're supposed to during time changes and whatnot. This crew also handles all of our roadway marker maintenance. This is basically just all the street signs throughout the city. 24/7 custodial excellence. We've got 3 full-time and 1 part-time custodians that clean all of our city buildings. They clean City Hall, Police Department, Public Services, Civic Center, park restrooms. They do a lot of after-hours work, too. We have guys or gals that go in on the weekends and clean our park restrooms every day. We also have a lot of Civic Center setups that are late at night or early in the morning. There may be a Civic Center event that goes till midnight one night, and then something else starts back at 10 o'clock the next morning, and we'll go in and take that setup down when it's over with, clean the building up, set it up for the new event. So a lot of times it's late nights and early mornings, but they do a really good job of that. This crew also, Jesse Bridges, the supervisor on this crew, helps me with a lot of special events logistics. This is things like vendor layout for the Syrup Festival, depending on electrical or water needs. We have to move all these vendors around depending on whether or not they need electricity or water. He also helps me with the shuttle routes for the Freedom Festival, barricade maps, staff scheduling for the events. Next is our construction and fabrication crew. They have an unlimited building potential. These guys, if you can imagine it, they can build it, literally. We do a lot of remodels, this crew does. They actually remodeled this building before we moved in. I think this room here was either 3 or 4 different offices, and they knocked all the walls out, ceiling out. I mean, it looked like a bomb went off in here, and there's wires and ductwork hanging out of the building, and they've turned it into what it is today. So these guys are really talented. They've done this building, our old City Hall. They've done work at Fire Station 1 and 2, Public Services, Animal Center. This crew's in real high demand, and everybody's always wanting them to show up and work on their place. They do a really good job. This crew also does a lot of welding and fabrication. They've built anything from a dump truck bed for one of our dump trucks to a full utility trailer, tongue to tail, handrails around town. They've constructed metal buildings. This crew also, they collaborate with our other crews. It's a real talented crew that can kind of bounce around and help out as needed. Most of our crews are like 3 to 5 employees to it. We try to keep them lean and efficient, but as we have bigger jobs, we'll put 2 or 3 of them together to knock these jobs out. So this crew kind of floats around and helps a lot of our other crews out. They also take care of all of our street sweeping throughout town, kind of keeps the town tidy. Street sweeping also keeps our drains running properly. All the leaves and debris will stop up our storm drains when we don't sweep frequently. So not only does it keep the town clean, it actually keeps the water flowing too. Next is our roadway maintenance crew. These guys maintain approximately 75 miles of city streets. This is anything from patching potholes to utility repairs to base failures in the road. They also bounce around and help a lot of our other crews. It's a real talented crew that can help with water leaks or concrete work, drainage work, you name it. This crew also handles all of our right-of-way mowing. Right-of-way mowing not only keeps the town looking good, but it keeps our intersections safe. It's a visibility deal. We've got a machinist on this crew and we've got a lathe and some metalworking equipment, and we pretty much build anything. You can carry one of these guys a chunk of metal and tell him you need a pin or a bushing for a tractor, and he can bring you back exactly what you need, custom made. This crew also handles our tree trimming throughout town. This is just trimming low-hanging limbs. This is to keep them from hitting vehicles, basically. Next is our concrete and drainage crew. These guys maintain all of our storm drain infrastructure throughout town. Just keeping the water in the pipes, rainwater in the pipes. This also includes a lot of custom concrete work. They do curb and gutter, sidewalk repairs, drainage flumes. A lot of these drainage flumes are real intricate. You got to get creative to figure out how to get water off the road into the ditch sometimes to keep it from washing everything out along the way. And these guys are really good concrete. Some of these concrete jobs they do looks like artwork. It's beautiful work. They also take care of all of our right-of-way drainage. This is just cleaning ditches out, keeping culverts open, just keeping the water going where it needs to go. And the last two crews, we've got our Parks and Recreation crews are split into two different crews just to kind of divide and conquer all we need to do. They do grounds maintenance on all city properties. This is approximately about 200 acres of landscape work, mowing and weed eating. We've got 6 city parks, 4 city cemeteries. Yes, 4 city cemeteries. They do City Hall, the police department, animal center, all the water wells in town, all the sewer lift stations. This crew also keeps up with all of our cemetery lot sales and records. They meet with families and sell spaces and document keep the paperwork on all that. They also do landscaping at our parks and facilities. That's just basically flower beds at city parks, city cemeteries, City Hall, our alley on Main, Heritage Square. Also do right-of-way maintenance and beautification. This is things like flower beds at the Traffic Star, flower beds all along Highway 79, along Highway 64. We've got some island beds downtown and on Jacksonville Drive. They take care of all of those. They also do our turf management program. This is putting out pre-emergent herbicide, selective herbicide, non-selective herbicide, insecticide, fertilizer. They aerate the soil, just keep the grass looking good, keep it green, keep the weeds out of it. And they also take the lead on all of our special events as far as staffing our special events. Our Parks and Recreation crew kind of handles the majority of that. And these are things like the Syrup Festival, Freedom Festival, Mardi Gras, National Night Out, Christmas Parade, A Day on Main. They handle just about all of that. I'll show you some department updates we've been working on. We've got a GIS work order and asset management system we've been integrating for the past probably 3 or 4 years. And I don't want to talk a whole lot about that because I understand David Hortman's going to kind of inform y'all on what exactly that consists of next month, so I'll let him pick that up. We're doing a pickleball complex fundraising right now. This is to rehab our tennis courts that are at Fair Park and convert that into a pickleball complex. We're doing fundraising for it right now. We're trying to raise about $300,000 to convert that. We're also doing fundraising for an inclusive playground at Yates Park. This would be to replace the existing playground over there with a brand new inclusive playground. This is it's got features for special needs children, just all children really. It's a neat deal. We're trying to raise about $800,000 for that job. We've also, over the past couple of years, Jay's brought in a professional development coach that I've been really excited about. This is a great deal. He's coming and doing leadership training with us. And this deal started out with a personality assessment that we all took, where you go through and there's a page with 110 words on it. And beside each one of these words is a box, and you just go through and check which box you feel like describes you. Based off the boxes you check, it creates basically a personality type for you. I guess you've got like an archetype, if you will. Measures you on assertiveness, extroversion, patience, detail orientation, creativity, versatility, and there's one more. But yeah. It's a really neat deal. We all took these tests, and after these tests, we got trained on kind of how to read these tests and how to understand your employees better. Assessments, yes. We got trained on how to read these and how to understand your staff better based off their traits. It's been really neat. Then from there, it went into leadership training. Just doing these, it's trained us to do these coaching sessions. It's just a one-on-one session with your direct report employees, and you sit them down and ask them kind of what they've got going on, what they need help with, what they're struggling with, how you can help, and it's just kind of checking in on them. It's been great for our department. It helps build rapport, for one, with your employees. It gives you one-on-one time to get to know them and show interest in what they've got going on, and it's done great for our department, and I'm sure other departments in the city too. So thank you, Jay, for that, and it's been great. And next, I've got just some pictures of some recent jobs we've done. The picture on the left, this is Wesley Roberge. He's one of our buildings and grounds maintenance guys. He's fixing some electrical plug at the fire department, I believe. The middle picture, this is Jesse Bridges fixing a water leak on our splash pad over at Fair Park. Top right, that's again Jesse Bridges fixing a splash pad manifold for the splash pad at Fair Park. They require a lot of maintenance to keep those things going. Bottom right picture, that's our new Texas Baptist Institute wayfinding sign. Next up, this is our construction and fabrication crew. Top left picture, they're replacing a little bridge that goes between the concrete sidewalk and the gazebo out there at Lake Forest Park. It had sunk, so they tore it out and put some good foundation underneath it and replaced it, and it's nice and smooth now. The bottom two pictures on the left, this is some work we helped Randy Boyd with at our surface water treatment plant recently, and there's these water filters have about 2 foot of media in the bottom of them. That actually filters the water, and then some hardware underneath it that has literally thousands of screws in each one of these deals. And we went out and helped them rehab one of these filters here within the past month or so. So that's them working on those. Picture on the right, this is Gabe Bagley. He's one of our supervisors. He's welding. I think they're building a air compressor building at our surface water treatment plant. Next, on the left, this is kind of just a street repair operation. The picture on the left, that's Jacob Gray. He's saw cutting a utility repair, looks like on Hubbard Drive. Middle picture is, again, Jacob Gray. He's compacting some limestone flex base we use in our patches before we hot mix it, before we put asphalt in there. And then on the right, this is a drainage ditch around the girls' softball field at the sports complex that we recently did. Next, this is our concrete and drainage crew. The picture on the left, that's a storm drain and inlet box repair we did in front of the courthouse recently. Top right picture is that's a sidewalk replacement we did over on, I believe, Beverly Street. Bottom right, this is a storm drain replacement we did on Line Street sometime last year. Last but not least is our Parks and Rec crews. Picture on the left, this is Cleve Jimerson. He's another one of our foremen. He's leveling the dirt for a headstone at Lakewood Cemetery there. The top right picture, again, is Cleve setting a home plate on the softball field over at Yates Park. And then the bottom right picture, we didn't decorate that, but I just thought the picture looked good. We did do the setup. It was kind of an example of a civic center. So we put out the tables and chairs. That's a professional that did all that. I just thought it'd look good for our presentation. Any questions?
I'm glad you put that disclaimer out. You almost set yourself a trap.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
You know, and there's, oh, go ahead. Daniel, I think that's been passed to a guy named Daniel. Do you remember his name, Jay? Daniel. Yes. I think he's taking the lead on that. I don't know exactly where that is right now. I haven't heard an update in a little bit, so hopefully it takes off. We're excited about that. Yeah, it's very popular. I was just going to add that there are a lot of things that go on behind the scene that weren't brought up.
Yeah, there's so much.
You know, I think of one after the Surf Festival. If you go down the street on Sunday morning, you'll never know
Looked better than it
anything
did
went
before.
on. And it's just amazing the transformation from, 20,000 people to everything's just.
Thank you. There's a lot of work goes
just normal.
into it. but
That's just
yes,
one example
Yes.
of things.
We try to leave it better than we found it on everything.
Work that they do.
Anything else? Yeah. Thank you. Well, that leads into our next deal. We've had some help lately. I'd like to invite up now Shanna Ferrara from MTC. I'm gonna let her explain a little bit, and then I'll be back up to.
Thank y'all for having me. I'm Shanna Ferrara, and I'm the facility administrator at Hope TTC, and we are owned and operated by MTC. So when he asked me to come up and say something, I think the biggest question that people ask is, where have y'all been? How do you get to Hope? What is Hope? How'd you get there? You know, how do people get in there? Is it private? Is it, so I'm going to briefly give you a rundown of what Hope Transitional Treatment Center is. So the ticket in our door is through the criminal justice system. However, everybody that comes through our door has gone through a very rigorous 6 to 9 month treatment program. You have to complete that treatment program successfully to get in our door. So all of the guys that we have here tonight that we've used for volunteers, before they came to us, they completed a 6 to 9 month treatment program successfully, did what they were supposed to do, did everything right. But maybe the probation officer, parole officer thought, I'm not ready to just send them back into the community. I think I need to transition them. So did they come to us, and we are a transitional treatment center. Our job is to slowly transition them back into a productive member of society. So what I found out in the last year, what part of their treatment goals when they get there is to get out, get a job, go to, there's other things with it. But the biggest thing is get out of this facility, get a job, make some money, save some money. Well, what I found out was we have 140 guys, and there's not that many employers. I am very grateful. Jalapeno Tree, Tia Juanitas, I want to thank them, Townley Lumber, Lone Star, Sign Express. I could, there are a lot of employers that do, give our guys a chance, but we, with transportation and things the way they are, I was finding that they were sitting around the facility all day, and it wasn't what I envisioned it. They weren't getting out. And I didn't feel like we were doing our job as far as, part of transitioning back into society is realizing that you get a second chance, have a second chance. You can be a productive member of society, go out there, make better choices, mingle with the public, get to know people, make a change, help somebody else, out of self into others. So somehow I got connected with the mayor, and the mayor gave the Parks and Recreation our number. And so he called, and I said, I've got the manpower, and, we're willing to volunteer. And so that turned into the program. Y'all come pick up, the city comes and picks up at least 10 every day from our facility. And they volunteer. So what I do for these guys is I'm like, if you will volunteer for the city of Henderson, I will give you the same privileges as somebody that goes out, because you earn privileges there. So if you go out, you get a job, save money, do what you're supposed to, you're going to get a 2-hour pass, you're going to get a 4-hour pass, and it's kind of a graduated deal. So what I've done is treated this like a full-time job. And man, I'm going to tell y'all what, they love it. It has been absolutely amazing to see these guys walk back in that facility. My program director is here, Maisha Dow. She's here. She's been helpful in instrumenting the plan. And then my boss is Kerry Dixon. He's here with me tonight too. So yeah, he shows up to support me. So that's the best part of it all. But anyway, so they've gone out, and I said, I don't know what they have for lunch at the facility. I can't tell you on any given day, but I can darn sure tell you what the city fed our guys every single day of the week, because that's what they do this for. We had sausage today, we had pizza, it has been a win-win, I think, for the city of Henderson and for us, because thank y'all for giving them a chance to get back out into society. Y'all have had a blast, haven't you? Yes. They have bonded. Y'all come pick them up. That is such a bonus. Townley Lumber employs them, and I appreciate that they employ them, but it's a 10 or 15-minute mile one-way trip, and so our transportation's kind of limited. So y'all have done a lot to help us, help the morale at the facility, get these guys out, and they're treated like kings. So there's who are the two crew? Where do they go? You have a crew, and then who's the second crew leader? Jacob. Okay, he's not here. So they have fallen in love with y'all's employees. It is so far, it has been amazing. When I talked to Kurt last week, he said, I don't really know what to do for y'all. Like, I feel bad we're not paying these guys. I said, you're feeding them lunch. That is literally what they want. And he said, well, I'd like to continue this partnership forever. And I'm like, I'm in. We're in, So I think it's good for Henderson, and it's good for Hope. And it, kind of the ETTF and MTC, I know how Henderson, a lot of people back off of that. And so I hope that these guys and the work that they've done, maybe everybody will kind of look at it and say, you know what? I believe in second chances, and that you can make bad choices and then come back in society and change your life. So that is my hope.
Yeah, they reached out to us a couple months ago and wanted to get involved with some community projects. So we jumped all over it, and they've partnered with our Parks and Rec department, and it has gone great. I've got to brag on Harriet Craig. As soon as this deal come up, I knew Harriet would be ideal to look after this program. And she goes and picks half of these guys up every day and keeps them with them, and she carries them through. And we've got some requests on jobs that we've needed done, but Harriet also can, without any input, is perfectly capable of leading these guys every day. She does a great job. She does. She knows how to deal with them. I can't say enough about Harriet Craig. She's great. Next up, we've got some certificates we'd like to pass out. Two different ones, one for the Hope staff, and then different ones for the volunteers. What I'd like to do is read ones for the staff first, and then we'll pass those out, and then I'll read the other one, and we'll pass them out. This one says, "In appreciation of our partnership with Hope Transitional Treatment Center for your support and commitment to providing opportunities for positive change through community engagement." We've got one here from Michael Bell. He's the vice president of MTC, but he's not here tonight. We've got one for Carrie Dixon, which is the regional director of MTC.
Dale's also.
One from Maisha Dowell. She's the program director for MTC. And up on the screen, Jay's kind of flipping through some different jobs that they've helped us with. We've got one for Shanna Ferrara. She's a facility administrator for MTC. Make sure I listened when I talked to you yesterday. I was saying Ferrera, and then I heard you.
And by the way, I want to compliment y'all on this. Compared to Cherokee County, I'm just shocked. It is beautiful in here. They did a great job.
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay. The next certificate is going to be for the volunteers. So I just wanted to read the wording on it. It said, "Appreciation of your dedication, work ethic, and valuable contributions through daily volunteer service with the Hope Transitional Treatment Center and helping our community thrive one project at a time." First up is Diamond Williams. We got some bad news for him. He got 6 months tacked on to.
6 months.
Jarrett Baker. Joseph Spradley. Kenneth Moore.
That's me, sir.
Ryan Martin. George Thomas. He may have got out already. Matthew Linksweiler. John Hood. And Robert Meredith. If you don't mind, I'd like to focus on these pictures over here. I can kind of show you what these pictures are as we flip through them. This first one is flower bed at Old City Cemetery that they helped us mulch here recently. Next, there's some flower beds downtown and the little islands on the corners that they also helped us mulch here within the last week or two. These are, in case y'all haven't noticed, on the intersection of Highway and 79, those trees. They've spent days and days trimming all of those trees up there, and it looks terrific down there. So if you haven't seen it, when you pass through, look over there. It looks great. Yeah. This is another picture of the same job. This is a assembly of some benches that are going to go in our alley on Main downtown. They may already be installed. I'm not sure yet. Maybe they helped us put them together. These are flower beds over at Fair Park behind the softball fields. They helped us mulch those. There's some limbs that fell during a storm. I think that's on Garden Lane Street recently. this is some shrubs they trimmed downtown on the side of the motorcycle building. There's a big, was it? Yeah, there's a big mural on the side of that building that I understand is going to get redone, and so they went down and trimmed these bushes and got them out of the way for us for the painter. This is some weed eating across the road from the trees that were trimmed on the corner of Fair Park and Highway 79 by the little ice station there beside what used to be Hush Puppies. And that's it.
I'd just like to tell the guys if there's anything that I can do as far as a recommendation or whatever you need, just let me know. And again, we appreciate the Hope facility, appreciate each and every one of you guys for the marriage that we have and the collaboration that we have to keep going with the efforts to keep Henderson beautiful. Good job. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Okay, we are. Yes. If there's nothing else, can I get a motion and a second to adjourn this meeting?
I make a motion to adjourn.
All right. Ms. Martin and Ms. Juarez seconds that motion. All are opposed. Okay, meeting adjourned at 6:56. Y'all have a great evening.